Have a beautiful day, you fucking cunts. It's Thursday, February the 6th, and this is the 7th episode of Don't Fake.
The funk, right
We got a
here.
great guest today. Fucking short notice at HeidiMe5 on Twitter. Heidi, hello.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Stoned to the gills and pretty cold. Yeah.
Did you guys see, the groundhog that he sees his shadow? Right? Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's like, so they said, 6 more weeks of winter, and it's almost like it activated winter here in Arizona because it is cold here too today. So I don't know if it got colder for you guys after that happened.
No, it's like, it's pretty warm here actually. Like during the day it was like 50 today, 50 degrees. So it's not that cold, but I'm kind of, when it comes to cold, I'm a big pussy. Like I freeze, I get cold easily.
I fucking love the cold, and I'm fucking aggravated that we don't have a fucking winter this year.
Oh my gosh.
It gets down to like 23 degrees at night, and during the day it goes up to like 50. It's strange.
Oh my God, no. And when I meant cold, it's like 60 degrees here, so it's not like that cold. But it's cold for Arizona, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're which city are you in Arizona?
I'm actually in Apache Junction, which is like about an hour away from Phoenix.
That sounds
Alright.
fucking right.
That's like a desert area or?
Yes, it's so where I live at, it is all desert. I live right by a mountain. It's called Superstition Mountain. But yeah, it's all desert. It's all open land here. It's not metropolitan. It's a very tiny town. I think we have like 33,000 people, if that. So, but I'm originally from LA.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you are.
Yeah. And then we moved here when I was 13. We moved to Phoenix, and then when I got married, my husband and I decided to buy out property out in the middle of nowhere.
That's the way to
That's
go.
cool.
Yeah.
So you don't have any annoying neighbors, shit like that?
No, it does echo sometimes. So like if I'm in my backyard, I have a couple of acres. So if I'm outside, there is a person who echoes downward. It's really weird where their house is at. It's kind of higher than mine. So their sounds echo downward, but otherwise I don't hear anyone.
That's cool.
Imagine your fucking neighbor standing up there, and he's just like cutting the biggest fart ever, and it's just traveling the whole fucking.
It would too. It probably would.
Oh my.
That's all I would do. That's all I would do.
So where are you guys at? I know you're in Germany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Near, I'm actually near Frankfurt, which is like right in the center of Germany, biggest airport in Europe. Yeah, I'm close to that, and yeah, and Lucas is more.
I'm down south, but
Yeah.
I'm not really near Nuremberg. I'm from the boonies, you know.
Yeah. So how long would it travel for you guys to like meet up or something?
About
Not that long,
Two-
like 3 hours or something.
2.5 hours on a train ride
Oh.
or by car.
Wow.
Yeah, but we haven't met yet, not yet.
You guys have not?
No, we haven't yet.
No, not worth the 2 hours yet.
No,
Checking.
we're not romantic like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm originally from the Canarian Islands, so I'm freezing my ass off here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And how long have you been in Germany?
4 years now in total. I've been back for almost 8 months, but then I went back to Germany again because I'm studying here. Like I got a scholarship after school for studying in other countries. So yeah, I ended up in Germany because my mom is half German and they ended up moving here too a couple of years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just stayed here and focused on studying here.
Whoa.
But yeah, it's definitely a big change to not
Yeah, I bet.
not being near the ocean. That's what sucks the most for me. Like
Yeah,
you're
well, tell me
from LA
about it.
and yeah, you're from LA and now you're in Arizona. That's a big difference too, right?
Huge difference. Oh my God. From the people to the amount of people is just, it's so different. Is everything about it's different. I mean, I like it here. I love it. You know, this is where I'm going to raise my family, but yeah, I take my daughter every year at least, if not 3 times a year, to show her like this is where I grew up and this is what a big city's like because we live in a little tiny town. She doesn't know otherwise.
Yeah, and you can't go where you live now. I bet you can. It's not like in LA where you can go every night to a comedy club and stuff like that. Like have a like going out and like always. I see it when Waterboxer posts stuff. Like he went to Kill Tony. Like it's all
I
very in his proximity. Like,
Yeah, so I went to the Comedy Store and the Ice House with them in September. Um, and yeah, it's kind of crazy because like every single night, there's something going on.
yeah.
And I mean, I was exhausted. I don't remember if it was like Sunday. It had to be Sunday. I remember like Jill had a minute to like kind of like talk or hang out, and I'm like, I haven't even really drank, and I feel like I'm hungover because we've gone out every single night, and it's not just like going out to the comedy show. Like, you go out, you hang out, and you're out till like 3 in the morning, maybe even later, with them. Just talking and hanging out, and it's just, oh my God, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Sounds fucking beautiful.
I know.
I mean, I couldn't live in LA, I'm like used to roam and have space, but like visiting there for that purpose, that would be definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Oh my gosh, everyone is so nice, and just it's kind of crazy because you just kind of really get to see them, and you're like, oh, okay, you're actually a performer, and I don't know, it's a whole different side of meeting Red Band in person, and Dean Del Rey and all of those comedians. It was a really cool experience.
Did you meet Joey Diaz too there?
I didn't meet him there. I actually met him in Phoenix. I met him and Tate Fletcher and Ari Shafir here in Phoenix in May.
Oh, that's fucking
So they all
awesome.
came. Yeah. Oh my God. And of course, they're all like super awesome guys. It was funny because we were at Stand Up Live in Phoenix, and Tate was like sitting kind of in a corner, and I just happened to get up during Ari Shafir's set, and I just needed to go to the bathroom. So I'm walking, and as I walk, I catch a glimpse of Tate Fletcher, and I mean, you can't miss the guy. Like, he has like this huge beard, right? And so Ari's still talking, and I stop, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Tate. And then, like, I'm like, holy shit, shut up. Like, Ari's going to see you. He's going to hear you. So then I run out the door because it's, like, right where he's at is kind of the door to get to the bathroom. So I run out the door like, oh, my God. Hopefully I didn't, say it too loud. And so I'm in the bathroom, and I'm washing my hands, and I'm like, okay, be cool. Don't freak out like you just did right now. So then I come back, and, I kind of like nod to him like, yeah, dude, I know who you are. I walk back trying to play it cool. And then, so I sit next to my husband again, and I'm like, oh my God, I met Tate Fletcher. And he's like, I think half of this site heard you.
Man, I would freak out as well if I met like all those people for the first time. I don't know, I probably would freak out too. And I'd
Yeah.
have to smoke some serious amount of weed to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I mean, and I see how, because it's so funny now. I'm like, oh, don't freak out. They're just regular guys. But I mean, when I met Joey Diaz, I mean, everyone's like, oh my God, Uncle Joey, and everyone wants to like hug him and smoke out with him all at the same time. And I mean, it was a mob around him, and we tried to talk a little bit after the show, but there was so many people like just trying to smoke out with him. I'm like, okay, I have to leave because I don't even know how much more I could take of this. Like everyone, there's like 50 people lighting up. I'm like, okay, calm down. He can't smoke every joint. Like he can try, but he's not going to, guys.
He said recently on Church of What's Happening Now podcast that sometimes when he's hanging out outside of clubs, he almost gets like panic attacks. Because
Yeah.
there's too many people, everyone wants to hug him. Some guy was coughing, was like sick and sneezing and whatnot. And next to him, he almost had a panic attack because, he's like, sometimes it's I bet it's kind of crazy. Sometimes it gets a little bit too much, maybe.
Yeah, I think it does. Like, so when we met him, for example, we met him before the show. We were just walking. We were meeting up with JR. You guys know who JR is, right? Like the merch guy. So he lives here in Phoenix, and we met up with him for the first time. And I guess he had hung out with Ari and Joey Diaz that whole day. And so he said, like, meet us downstairs. So we meet downstairs, and just that, like, we were just talking, and then like Joey Diaz just puts his hand on my shoulder, and I'm like, oh my God. And I turn around and I just like gave him like I didn't even have to like realize who it was. I just like gave him a big hug, and he's like, hey, how you doing? With his voice and everything. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. So there was no one there. It was just four of us there. And so we talked a little bit and everything. But yeah, afterwards, I mean, there was it was packed that night. So it's a pretty big venue. I'm guessing it's close to 200 people that you can hold at that venue, and at least 100 people were around him afterwards.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and same with Tate Fletcher. Like, I talked to him after the show before anyone, I think, really realized who he was. I was talking to him, and we talked for a good amount of time. Like, he can talk. And we were just talking, shooting the shit, and then all of a sudden people realized, oh my God, that's Tate Fletcher. And then all of a sudden, like, a line started to form of people, like people wanting to take pictures. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I better go now because now you have, a fan base.
Yeah, he had pretty big stuff going on recently on Breaking Bad. Then he got his own company now, this coffee stuff. I heard him on Eddie Bravo radio recently, like the other day, last Sunday.
Yeah, how was it? I didn't get to hear it, but
it was really good.
Yeah.
Talked about how they met up and stuff, like back in the day, how Death Squad kind of formed, and how he got into MMA, then he got some stunt jobs. Now he had this semi actor stuff going on where he's stuntman and actor at the same time, like on Breaking Bad. He had a small role. And then what's kind of weird with this Dave Asprey guy, you heard about him?
Yes.
Like this coffee selling kind of snake oil almost salesman. Like he went on the Joe Rogan Experience and kind of had a commercial for 3 hours about his coffee. And he had
the bulletproof coffee. Yeah.
Exactly. And Tate kind of in the beginning tried to work with him, but this guy kind of went crazy at Tate and didn't want to cooperate. So Tate started doing his own stuff.
Yeah, that's the Caveman Coffee, I think, right?
Exactly, yeah. And now this Dave Asprey guy, he's like, you're how do you say it? Like ripping me off, like copying my stuff. Like shit like that. Like if as if he invented coffee, you know?
Oh
Some
my
crazy
God.
shit like that. So they talked about that too for a
I didn't know
while.
that.
Yeah, he
Oh,
has.
wow.
They had like, some problems, they're legal issues, I guess. But yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, because he was all about it. I mean, that's how everyone heard about Bulletproof Coffee was Tate was on, JRE talking about this amazing coffee. You have to try it, and and then
Exactly.
he had him on there.
He
Yeah,
kind of started this whole thing. He talked about it and so brought the attention to Dave Asprey's product. Then he
totally.
wanted to work with him, but Dave didn't want to, so Tate started his own stuff, and now he's pissed
Hmm.
off because Tate actually tested his coffee and knows that it knows the results, like has the science behind it, and Dave
Mm-hmm.
actually never tested his own coffee. So there's
Oh,
no
wow.
real backup behind his claims that it's all, I don't know, mold free, and I don't really know.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know all that.
That's kind of shady dude, this Dave Asprey guy.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's funny because even like the first time I heard him, he had a lot of cool things to say, and I was kind of on board, and then he had him on again, and then that's when kind of Joe Rogan like started questioning some things about like, well, what about this? What about that? And he kind of like started like not changing it, but it just seemed very different at that aspect. Like, yeah, you're telling me that all this coffee has mold, but things didn't really add up. So,
Exactly. He has kind of this one pitch, but if you start
yeah.
asking a little more background questions, he
Mhm.
doesn't have anything to say. He just has this. He just goes with this one advertisement, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if
Bulletproof beach,
yeah,
bulletproof coffee, bulletproof man. Yeah.
mold free, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but like that dude, the first time I heard him, I actually thought he was like a tweaking, you know? He sounded like he was
Yeah,
fucking
right?
high in speed.
Oh yeah, but he admits that he's taking not exactly speed, but something else, and he's constantly
Adderall.
Adderall. Yeah,
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's the same thing. It's not like, fucktard. It's like,
I love
oh,
that.
look at me and my healthy coffee while I'm on speed.
exactly. Oh, and Tate, when he first started his own podcast, he called it like the Bulletproof Podcast, something like that. And then one day he talked about this on Eddie Bravo Radio. He got a letter from Dave. And Dave's like,
Mhm.
dude, you know that Bulletproof is like my brand, and you can keep using the name, but you have to say that it's under my brand, kind of.
Oh my
Like
God.
It's a word.
but that was right at the beginning, before they even split up, before they got in
Yep.
real trouble.
Yep. But still, what the fuck? What kind of sense does that make? It's a fucking word. It's not like his podcast was called Bulletproof Coffee, you know?
Yeah, and also
Right.
It's just bulletproof. It's a word.
Mhm.
exactly, but he kind of wanted Tate to, I think, kind of pay for it or some shit like that. And Tate was like, dude, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not making any money off this, I'm not signing any legal papers because of stupid podcast name. So he changed it up, Like,
Again,
Yeah.
that's not
again,
good.
typical fucking tweaker behavior, you know? Totally tweaked out behind his keyboard thinking he's gonna punch out Tate Fletcher, you know?
Oh my God. And Tate, like, I don't know if you guys have seen how tall Ari Shafir is,
He's like
Yeah.
but
6'5".
yeah, Tate
Yeah.
is probably a little bit taller than him. And just like, I mean, he's all muscle. Like there's no fat on the guy. Like it's all muscle. And I was standing next to him and I'm like, holy cow, like did anyone tell you you're a giant? Like why it's crazy how tall he
He's a
is.
big dude, man. He said on Eddie Bravo Radio, he said he gained a little weight recently. He's like 240 almost now, 237.
Wow.
That's pure muscle. That's not.
Oh
You
yeah.
see him on Breaking Bad, like
Yeah.
like you saw him there.
Uh-huh.
Like he's in this Aryan gang or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like the biggest dude in there. There's like big dudes, but he like stands out with
I
his
know.
beard.
It's so funny.
So badass. Like in this one.
It's funny because my husband's like, where is he gonna be at? Like, what, because I'm like, oh, he's on the show, and he's like, where's he gonna be at? And then all of a sudden, like, they show the camera, and it's like, oh, I see him. Like, yeah, you see who he is.
He has the big in this one episode where they kill Hank in the desert.
Yeah.
Where this big shootout, and this one episode ends, and they kind of point the guns, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
a big zoom, right? Like here's a
Yeah, the
scene
zoom
there.
out. Yep, that's
He
yeah.
points his huge gun at the police guys.
Yeah.
His part wasn't that small actually. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was such a good show.
fuck
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I guess it's time to confess I didn't watch Breaking Bad, right?
It's
watched,
so funny.
I watched
Go
like
ahead.
the first season, and I just couldn't. I just don't know. I don't think it's that great, to be honest.
Makes you want to do meth, right?
No, it doesn't. I don't know. It's not for me, I guess.
How much did you watch?
Like one season. First season.
Well,
After that, I don't know.
It would start off slow. I mean, I don't know. Like, so did you start like at the beginning with everyone, or
Yeah.
were you like, oh, the hype has already started, I better catch up, or?
No, that was in the beginning when it came out.
Okay. See, I had met Tate Fletcher and everything, and then I had not seen the show, and so I was like, I feel bad because I've never seen the show. I should probably watch the show. So it was like my second job. Like I would come home, do all my family stuff, put my kid to bed, and then like watch it for hours, and then go to sleep, go to work, come back, and then do it all over again. And when it was over, my husband's like, what are you going to do now? Because I just finished it, like, I don't know, a couple months back. And or after everyone had already seen it, right? And I said, well, I guess I can, like, get a second job because that's all I've been doing. I feel like I've been working this whole time. I said, or back to raising my kid. I don't know.
I had the same thing when I was a big fan of Lucky Louie, and I never found like a site where I could watch Louie, the FX show, and in Germany
Yeah.
it's not on TV. And when I discovered it, I binge watched. Fucking awesome TV show, like best comedy TV show on TV today.
Yeah. That's a good one. It's dark though.
Yeah, but that's what makes it great, It's
I
not
know,
like
it's-
all toned and washed down. It's life,
Yeah, totally. But there are some days where I'm like, I'm depressed. I should watch TV. And then I would watch that and I'm like, I'm even more depressed. I'm going to go to sleep now.
oh man, but talking about depressed, if you watch Breaking Bad, there's some scenes where I don't want to say now because Lucas hasn't watched it, but like the ending of the second season with this girl, Jesse and this drug addict girl. You remember?
Yeah.
That's some
Yes, I
dark
do.
stuff too.
That was
You mean
dark.
when the dude killed her? Like, I got friends that spoil everything, I
Aw.
basically know about this series, but I haven't watched it.
I watched the whole thing. I got it on DVD from a friend who bought everything. He gave it to me, and I didn't know anything about it. So I watched it in like 2 or 3 weeks. I watched it until the second part of the 5th season, because that just was last year, right? Like in August or something.
Yeah.
Like it ended. So yeah, I watched it until then in like 2 weeks, and yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it because I didn't know anything about it, so no one spoiled anything. That's a good thing about it. If you know some things, like this guy is gonna die, that's gonna happen, I don't know, ruins a little bit.
Yeah. Well, see, so I maybe had watched 3 seasons when it ended, and someone had posted a picture of one of the last scenes of it. And I'm like, I kind of, and I I figured, okay, I know how it ends. Like it's kind of ruined. I know how it ends.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I was like, oh no. Okay, I didn't know all of it. Okay, good.
Yeah, sometimes
So
the build up is very complex, and it's also very cool
yeah,
to watch how things develop, you know. Lucas, you
totally.
gotta watch this shit, man.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I really
It really picks up in the second and third season, I
Yeah,
guess.
like I said,
exactly. Wait.
I was told what happens, you know, but I don't really. It doesn't catch on with me. While we're at it, did you guys watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah. All
How did you like it? I thought it was bad. I really didn't like it.
I liked the first two seasons, but the third one, I also read the books and I really liked the books. So in the
Yeah,
third
but that's
season, they kind of went away from the books a little too much.
yeah, and that's a problem with film adaptations in general. You know, if you read the book, you have like a picture in your mind. You know how the people look, how the whole
Hmm.
world looks, and when you see it, it definitely will not be what you pictured in your head. You know.
Yeah,
Definitely, but
yeah.
overall, HBO, I think HBO is better than making it a movie, you know, because they got more time to. They don't have to cut things out in a 10 episode season, you know. So they have more time to put everything in there. And in the first season, you could read the book and it was like 100% exactly how it was in the book. Then the second one, pretty much the same, and now in the third, so many changes. It's not even gonna be the same story anymore because they already changed so much. So yeah, I don't know. Season 4, I think, starts in 2 months, so we'll see how it's gonna be.
I never saw that show, and my husband, I guess his friends were like all about it, and so I'm like, dude, you can watch it if you want. I had no interest in it. Everyone said the books were good though.
Yeah, they're really good, but it's kind of the thing. You really have to get into it. Either you get really into it or you don't, because it's very complex, you know. And
Hmm.
each book has like 1,200 pages or even more. So it's like a huge. It's not like you can say, yeah, I'm gonna read it real quick, and so
Yeah,
you
right.
can.
Catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, takes a while.
Fuck that.
Takes a while.
I know you're like I don't know. Did you guys ever read The Hunger Games?
Yeah, the
Okay.
first two.
Nope.
Yeah, I read the first two books also, and I mean I liked them. Nothing wrong with them. But at the end, I was just like, I'll just wait for the movie. It's kind of pointless now. Although I did read, the books before the movie came out, but I'm like, they're gonna tell me a whole different story, and it's gonna be faster in my eyes and in my mind than if I read this. So I'll just wait for that.
Yeah, same here, because I read the first Hunger Games book a
Mhm.
couple of years ago. I think
Mhm.
shortly after it came out, and then just
Okay.
recently, a couple of weeks ago, I watched the first movie,
Mhm.
and I didn't even remember stuff. Like either they changed a lot, or
Yeah, they did.
I don't really remember what they changed, but a lot of stuff was like, man, I didn't know about that.
By the
Because
way,
it
I didn't like that movie either.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I
you
didn't
didn't like that?
Nah,
Nah.
me either, really. It's like
No.
too, like it's a serious topic where they fight to till death, you know, and then
Yeah.
nothing really happens. Like,
Yeah.
You
but
can't
I
see
guess
shit.
yeah, but I guess
I
it's
thought some people were gonna be slayed and shit, you know, like heads rolling around, blood squirting out of throats and shit. Nothing.
It's like porn without penetration. It's kind of
Right.
oh
pointless.
yeah, it's what
Yeah.
this kind of soft porn bullshit.
Look at me being fucked by a ghost. Oh, it's tremendous.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's like this kind typical teen kind of movie, like Twilight, I guess.
Yeah, I never saw or read those books,
Yeah,
so.
me either. Fuck that shit.
Jesus Christ, what's wrong with teenagers these days? Like, seriously, what the fuck? They think they're fucking vampires. They all dress in black. They dye their hair. They cry all day. They start fucking cutting themselves because they're so sad they can't find no vampire boyfriend. What the fuck? When I was that age, I was fucking playing the drums and doing drugs. That's what you do when you're young.
Yeah,
True.
when I went to school, like at 12, 13, like kind of when I started getting interested in girls, I went to this, across the street from my school, there was this little store, and I went in there and kept stealing candy like crazy, like my whole school bag full of candy. And I went back to school and gave away all the candy to the girls.
Oh, nice.
Big pimpin'.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
everyone else hated me. Like, all the girls were like, oh, he's so nice, but all the dudes were like, oh, fucking asshole. And then someone snitched, and I got in huge trouble because they kind of snitched, and the store owner, he figured that I was the one who kept stealing shit. Because this went on for a couple of weeks. Yeah, some snitch fucked me up.
Some massive cock blocker. He's like, no, not gonna let that happen.
So, that's how it goes.
That's funny.
So, did you see, about the Expendables, Sylvester Stallone, like...
Yeah, I didn't see the second one. I saw the first one. I was hanging out with Vegan Mark like a few weeks back, and he was trying to make me watch the second one. But I mean, the premise is good as far as like all of these all-star action heroes. Like, that's awesome. But no.
While we're at it, shout out to Vegan Mark and Patty.
Yeah.
I would only be interested in an Expendables movie. It would be an all Nic Cage cast. It was like that would be the only way to get me to watch that.
That's right.
I mean, everybody, females, good guys, bad guys, everybody would have to be Nic Cage.
Just put a blonde wig on and it's a girl,
Fuck yeah.
Nic Cage is such a brilliant actor, he can pull it off.
No, you don't understand. Nic Cage is the universe.
Exactly.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, the second movie is the most brain-dead, stupid movie ever. But it's like full-time 90 minutes action. So yeah, it's pretty fun. And why I mentioned it, because in the third one, there's actually the UFC star Ronda Rousey. She's in it.
Oh, okay.
Was she really?
Yeah, she got her like the female part, crew. So I'm kind of looking forward to see her like acting, because Randy Couture is also in it. The first one, and he did a pretty good job. So he
did do a good job.
He wasn't bad. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And something else that I just read about recently. In the first and second one, there's also Bruce Willis in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sylvester Stallone, he kind of wanted Bruce to also be in the third one. Said like, yeah, you gotta only be there 4 days. It's like a smaller part. We do it in 4 days, and you get $3 million. And Bruce was like, oh, fuck you. I want 4 million, like $1 million a day.
Wow.
Bruce Willis isn't even in it because Sylvester Stallone, he got like pissed off, like, fuck you, man, you greedy bastard, go fuck yourself. And now they got, for the same money, they got Mel Gibson and Harrison Ford.
Mad Mel is there?
Yeah, Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford.
Fucking Mad Mel, man.
Antonio Banderas and shit. Wesley Snipes. It's fucking crazy.
Oh shit, Wesley Snipes.
So Snipes getting out of jail, right? Sylvester hooked him up.
Just in time.
Yeah, gotta pay taxes.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately.
Tell Nic Cage about it.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, didn't he buy some castles here in Germany and then had to sell them?
Yeah. And that's important. Plural, castles.
Yeah, yeah.
Not one, but like a couple of them.
Like,
Yeah, and you know what? He was building a huge house here in Arizona. It's up north, so it's like 2 or 3 hours away from here. But it was like being like it's a castle carved into a mountain essentially.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm like, well, dude, don't you have money problems? I don't think you should be doing all of this.
even if you don't have money problems, why go crazy and buy like a ton of houses and castles and shit? Like, I don't get that because
You're gonna be dead in a couple of years, Who fucking cares?
yeah, and you can't even enjoy those places,
No,
So-
you can't. You
yeah.
really can't.
I don't know, man. It's just if you have that much money, you can kind of go crazy and kind of lose control and don't know what you gotta pay, and I don't know, maybe I got a little confused, forgot to pay some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all do, get confused, forget to pay shit. Like if I'd forget to pay fucking taxes, they would fucking come to my house and arrest me, And those fucks are like on TV, flying around through the air, building castles into rocks, and they're like, yeah, he's got some, a couple million tax debt, whatever. He'll come by.
Yeah, we'll investigate it later. Yeah, yeah. And you're like, no, you can investigate it now.
He's gonna like come by with a briefcase, and they're gonna put it on the table and open it, and it'll look like in Pulp Fiction, with all this golden shine coming out, like, oh,
Yeah.
you don't have debt anymore. You can go home. You're free.
Speaking of taxes, like here in Germany, just recently was this big story on the news that this German politician kinda she's like a politician feminist, totally crazy.
Oh, you mean Alice Schwarzer?
Yeah.
That
She's
fucking
like
bitch.
this fucking whore.
She just needs a cock up her ass, her pussy, and her mouth all at the same time.
She's like the most hardcore feminist crazy bitch of all times, like here in Germany.
Okay.
And she turns out that she has this big magazine, and she made for like 30 years, so she made a ton of money, and turns out she had a bank account in Switzerland, because in Switzerland you don't have to pay taxes, or very little. So she
Yeah.
kind of
No. Actually, in Switzerland, it's like this. You get a letter at the end of each year, and you can decide if and how much taxes you want to pay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so she kind of went behind the German tax paying and had this bank account there and put all her money on there. So it turns out she had to pay like about 2.5 million, what she didn't pay over the years. And now she's like, she went crazy at the journalist for bringing out this story, and she's like, what did she say, Lucas? You remember? Like, she's like, you're ruining my name and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, she went mad at the journalist for...
Basically, she was like saying he was blacklisting her,
Yeah.
which is like ridiculous if you're actually guilty of something.
such...
Wow. And what's her name?
Alice Schwarzer. Alice
wow.
Schwarzer. It's fucking... And that bitch is like, she's really disgusting. The only reason she'd take a cock up her fucking cunt would be to fucking abort the baby. That's the only reason.
But bro,
That's what she said?
No, but that's the way it is.
she's like 70, man. Come on.
That's how much she is into feminism.
She's probably she's probably virgin. She's so depressed. Oh my. All this feminist stuff and crazy shit.
Yeah, it's like I was into like the whole Riot Girl thing back in the 90s, but not like hardcore. Like some girls were really crazy. Like the girls that my husband hung out with, like they were crazy. I wasn't like, everyone should have rights, whatever. I'm not into like being all in your face about like, women first, because I think that's stupid. Like that's almost like causing more segregation, if anything.
Of course.
Yeah, and also nitpicking a lot and focusing on bullshit that's not even that important. Like if they focus their energy on what's really important and bringing them forward, I don't know, because here at university it's even crazier because there are male feminists. Like they're all like dudes. They got like papers and handing them out, and like I read one. It says like, yeah, we as men have to apologize for years of mistreatment of women, stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Like I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, you need to get some shit. Like you gotta get a hobby or some shit.
And like, what the fuck? How about women apologize for misbehaving? You know, what if I stood in the fucking street and gave away those letters? You know, would be fucking punched in the face like 87 times by random people, and you know, I don't really get it. Like, wave a flag with a pussy on it. What's it about? You know, like, I don't get it.
You know, I got called a sexist like 200 times since I'm here in this town by like some crazy German feminist girls, because in Spain it's like normal if you can tell a woman that she's pretty and hot, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Deal.
You guys can tell me I'm pretty, I'm hot anytime you guys want. Okay.
There you go. But I mean, like here, I said that a couple times to some girls, and then their crazy friend, she went like crazy at me. Oh, you're just focusing on her looks. You're not even seeing her as a person. Like,
Oh,
Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up.
And that especially happens in towns with like big universities. You know, you have those student chicks that
Yeah.
focus on like one thing for 6 years straight, and they got all this free space in their head they need to occupy with some dumb shit like that.
Exactly. You
Like, that's the biggest problem the world has. You're fucking cunt.
too much fucking free time and don't know what to do with it. Just running around telling everyone they're assholes for telling other girls that they're pretty.
And
yeah.
you're like, what's the problem? How could you be offended by somebody calling you pretty?
Well, maybe she was offended because I didn't call her pretty.
Oh,
Yep.
So
Yep.
that might be. Yeah, but
One time, this one guy I work with, he tells all the girls that we work with, you know, he always tells them they're pretty. And one time he came up to us and he was telling us that he went to the store after work and he had to go pick up some stuff. And he was walking down and he said, "Hey, good looking," to a girl that walked by him. And, you know, just passing by. And the other girl was with another girl. And so she looked out and she said, "Excuse me, I'm with her too." Like,
Oh.
asking for a compliment. and he's like, "No, I was just talking to her." And so he kept walking. And so she made it a point to go through the supermarket saying, "Oh no, you need to pay me a compliment too. You need to tell me I'm pretty. You can't just tell my friend I'm pretty." And then, so he just like, he left. Like, he couldn't even buy his stuff because she like went crazy.
holy shit.
Jesus Christ. So nowadays you just gotta, if you hand out compliments, you just have to generalize, like hand it out to everyone.
Yeah. Hey, all you bitches. All you guys are hot.
All you bitches are hot. All of you. I'm a fucking liar if I say that, but all of you are hot. Because some of them, oh man, I'm not a liar, so I'm not gonna tell just for the sake of saying that someone's hot, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So, and
Like, someone, if they don't like you, they shouldn't tell you they like you. I mean, it doesn't matter, like, whether their personality or looks, you shouldn't be forced to tell someone, "Yeah, I like you," even though you don't. I mean,
yeah, and I
Yeah,
problem.
why just lie to somebody? That's
Yeah.
dumb. And like, while we're at it, you know, like calling people pretty, I had a talk with my mom like a couple of weeks back, you know, and we were like talking about, you know, all my siblings and me, how we like were as little kids, you know. And so my mom said when I was really young, like 3, 4, 5, you know, when I was young, she said I was an embarrassingly honest child. She said when we were like eating somewhere, I would just walk up to people and be like, oh, you're a pretty woman. Or I would walk up to a
Huh?
woman and be like, you're an ugly woman.
Oh
You,
no.
you know? And my mom told this one story that was tremendous. There was this redheaded woman in a cafe, you know, on the street, and we were eating there. She was drinking coffee, and she had like red hair, and her face was like totally freckled, like really heavy freckled. And I
Yeah.
stood up and was walking up to her, and my mom was like, "Oh God," and was like sinking into her seat already. And I like walked towards her, and I put my hand out, and I like touched her face, and I was like, "You are so pretty." And I just turned back around and sat on my chair again. You know?
You're a fucking player, man. Like, right from the beginning.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta try, you know.
Definitely. So you're into red-headed, freckled girls?
Why not?
Yeah,
you know?
why not?
Someone's got to be.
Definitely.
You know, as long as they're filthy, I don't care. You know? I mean, it's not a secret that I'm perverted here. You know.
It's so funny you were going to say that because I was thinking when we were talking about like how celebrities kind of like lose control, lose focus, and they don't even, they can't even find the pleasure of, everything that they have because, they have this huge house and they have huge houses and castles. It reminded me of that picture I posted of that chicken.
Yeah.
It's just like gaping hole.
Oh, that one. I saw that.
Actually, you know, the only way to make that picture better would be to stuff like a rabbit head inside of the butthole. Like it's just peeking out. Hello. I want to.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtle of buttholes.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
Also known as the Brown Super Ranger.
Yeah. Oh my god. That was so good.
Yeah, so many crazy girls here in town. Like, when I said that I was talking to this one girl, and then her friend kind of popped out of the background, was like, how can you tell her that? Like, she wasn't even in there in the conversation, you know? Like,
Oh god,
they just come
yeah.
out of nowhere and just start crazy shit. Man, it's
Do you like think like, oh my god, I feel so sorry for the guy who actually marries you? Like, do you ever think that? Like,
she's not
who's
gonna.
the person that has to put up with that?
Nah, she's not gonna get married. Like, that's what I think. Like, oh man, I feel sad for her because I know she's not gonna marry anyone. So just too, I don't know.
She's an independent woman. She can choose whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to marry anyone, but someone's got to fuck her sometime. So.
Yeah, that's what happened here. Like, one guy actually hooked up with one of those crazy girls, and then they broke up, and now this girl went totally nuts and started spreading like crazy stories about this guy, and now everyone hates him. Like, in the whole university, everyone's like, oh, this guy's just a total asshole. Like, mostly the girls. Like, it's just rumors kind of spread because this one crazy girl, she's like totally butthurt and crazy, just making shit up. Like, over a couple of months, like, she kept adding like stupid stories. Oh man, it's just crazy girls sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't stop either. Like, I work and I work with those ladies now and they have kids and they're in their 40s and I'm like, I always think like, oh my God, it didn't stop. Like someone has never called you out on it. And I try, but it's at work, so you can't, and some of them are, managers and stuff. So you can't you have to be tactful about it when you're calling them like crazy bitches. But sometimes you're like, okay, so what, there's this lady nonstop will just always make up, like literally just makes up stuff. And sometimes I'll tell her like a story about me, like, oh, one time I did this and that, and she'll turn around and say that she did it, like in front of me to other people. And people are looking at me like, That was Heidi. And she's like, oh, was it? Oh, was it? Yeah, it was.
That's just crazy people, though. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you say, habitual liars? Like, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like they can
It's
help
weird.
themselves. Like they just don't even realize when they lie, kind of.
No, yeah, that's exactly it. They don't even realize it. They're
Yeah.
just saying, and that's to me. Now I'm getting older, and I'm like, you cannot stop. Like, there's no stopping you. Like everything someone says to you, you're just gonna turn around. Like it doesn't even matter what we say. You're gonna turn around into this other universe. That to me is
It's
crazy.
like some
It's just
people,
pathetic.
yeah, that some people who went through life like kind of bullshitting their way through life.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, it kind of backfires, because someone calls you out on it, and then you don't know how to react. Like it totally smashes you if you
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah, but
had it easy and you just bullshit your way through.
but that's a problem of our society too. We have very strange values. We don't understand what life is about. You think it's about going to school, going to work, and then dying. That's not what we're intended for. So how could you be happy when you're stuck in a shit job? Nobody wants to put a cock in you, and you're gonna die within like 20 years.
Exactly.
I'll put my cock in you.
And by the way, the calling out thing, like I really like calling people out and whatever, especially in like social situations at like parties and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with these feminist bitches, I go in, I talk to them basically. If you ever saw me tweeting at Maisie, I basically talk to them like that. It's like everything's like pumpkin pie and shit, honey pot, and you can see them get so fucking aggravated, and you can sense that they want to punch you, but they don't know how you're gonna react, so they don't do it. It's fucking tremendous.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Just troll the shit out of them because they're so ridiculous. So easy to troll them.
Oh yeah.
But I don't even troll them. I just act the way I act, and then they go crazy. It's great.
They give you setups all the time. It's like their own fucking fault.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is their own fault.
But what you said about people not knowing what life is really about, like especially here in town, it's like a big university town, and some guys I see walking around in like suits and little briefcases, like politics students, or shit like that. They hang out at the fucking university all fucking day, in the library, shit like that. And if you meet one of them like somewhere when I go shopping, shit like that, and I meet with someone and all they talk about is fucking university studying. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, you gotta have a life, like do something else, and at least while you're studying, like having fun doing other shit too, Like I don't get it.
Like I don't.
Yeah, and then when they get on the real world.
Exactly. Yeah, they're so used to this studying stuff, and then when they get in the real world, they don't know what to do. Like
I don't get that at all. I dropped out of school when I was 16. I didn't graduate. I went right into working. Like I don't know how you could sit all day and think about like one topic and all you talk about is that. How boring must that be?
It fucking kills me.
Yeah.
Like politics
and Leon, I've been like digging graves since I was 15 years old, for work, for money.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of, vision in life they have. All they want to do is get like a managing job or whatever, become a lawyer and make a shitload of money, buy a house, maybe drop like one kid out of the cooter and die with like money saved, What the fuck? You're gonna be stuffed in a fucking wood box and you're gonna be buried and you're gonna be eaten by maggots. How is your couple $100,000 gonna help you? Not at all.
That's right.
You should have fucking spent them on acid or weed.
Right on.
That's funny.
Lots, like a ton of people here, some study politics, some study history, and they're so stuck into this one topic that if you want to talk to them about something else, they don't even know. They don't know how to really get into other topics. And sometimes even a lot of people, if you start some other topic which isn't related to what they're studying or what they're doing, they don't even want to talk to you. Like, basically, it's kind of crazy how people are just so stuck in this one thing, like this one direction they're going at. Or also, same thing happens kind of to this conspiracy guys. Like, they waste so much energy just focusing on researching and reading, and then trying to make everyone believe the same stuff, like converting everyone to the ideas, to these.
Mm-hmm.
You only say that
theories.
because you're a government shill.
Yeah, this info agent right here.
Yeah,
I know. I can tell.
Like a real problem with those guys is that like people, especially over here in Europe, that like when they're into something, you cannot joke about it. Like Germany especially, we're like comedy-wise or like fun-wise, we're behind like 35 years to America, for example. We don't have like any offensive comedy. You cannot go to somebody and make like a real offensive joke. They'll be all like in your face, like, how can you say that? That's like, that's not the truth, and you shouldn't represent your personality
crazy.
like that, and stupid shit like that. It's awful.
That's crazy. Obviously we wouldn't know how to survive out there. Like everyone's sarcastic around each other, so that would be weird.
Also, there's no comedy clubs here, like nothing. Like a guy like Joey Diaz, a lot of people, I see it on Twitter, sometimes they're like, oh, you gotta come to Europe. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What do you do in Europe? Like, except maybe the UK, like England, where there's no language barrier, and they're a little bit more like into this kind of humor, like comedy. But if he came to Germany, Jesus Christ, man. People.
He says Jew the first time on stage, and the Jewish League would be on his ass.
Oh man, his Jew jokes, they wouldn't fly here, man. That would be Jesus Christ.
Like the news the next day would say Joey Diaz, Holocaust denier.
Holocaust denier. And they would call Joey Diaz the Holocaust himself.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Especially like, I mean, there are like, I know personally, like Berlin has a few comedy clubs, Hamburg has a few, but I don't know of like any else. And the stuff in there, it's sad. Even if you have very, very little dirty guys, or like, like sketchy guys that like be able to turn a crowd around, and it's all it is like clean, squeaky, like Seinfeld style, like joke after joke after joke. Don't step on nobody's toes. Just walk through it. Don't bomb, and that's it. And that's you cannot grow from that,
No, you can't.
What the fuck is that? Are you flushing, Leon?
What happened? I think
it sounds like an airplane took off.
What? Jesus Christ! I don't know. It kind of sounded like I lost you for a second. I don't know what happened. But yeah, we're going for like a little bit over an hour now. So thank you for coming on spontaneously, Heidi.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
You saved us.
Yay!
Saved the day.
Yeah, definitely.
With a little Nicolas Cage and a little bit of Ninja Turtle power.
Follow her at HeidiMe5 on Twitter. NCAA original. Fucking badass.
Badass. So, see you next time on Don't Fake.
The funk.